Let me tell you right now, I've been busy. You see, I'm wrapping up my last work week before I take the entire week off to play the final shape. So this kind of it skated off of my radar. And when I initially heard about it, I honestly thought this was bullshit. I was like, "There's no way. There is no way that Sony leaked an entire expansion a whole week before it's supposed to drop." But you see, then I have to remember that the people we're dealing with here is Sony. You see, Sony is they are the Scooby Doo villains of gaming. I feel as though a lot of the time most of our attention is turned to Microsoft because Microsoft is more of the bumbling idiot villain who kind of stumbles into a mess of their own making. Let's buy a bunch of studios and have them create games. And then let's cancel all of those studios when their games, after we don't give them any direction in any way, shape, or form, and then we don't fund them the correct way so that they can be successful, flop. You see, Microsoft stumbles into shit like that because they get big brain a little bit ahead of themselves. But Sony really is the Scooby Doo villain. You see, at the beginning of the episode, they're the person that initially meets the Scoobies, the Mystery Inc. They meet the squad. And they seem as though like they're this humble, nice little custodian caretaker who's just sweeping and mopping, and that's basically all that they fucking do. But then as you watch them, and as the episode continues, their entire facade begins to unravel, and you begin to realize that these individuals really are some of the most bottom of the barrel diabolical bastards you have ever seen on the face of the fucking planet. And for the most part, you could say that, well, that applies to anyone that can be considered a AAA major publisher or something along those lines. You're absolutely fucking correct. But you see, the thing about Sony is, and it is actually fucking funny when you honestly think about it, is that they think that they can do no wrong. That because they won technically the last two console wars, that we are dependent upon them in some way, shape, or form. And you only really have to look in the direction of Helldivers 2 and the whole fiasco with Sony pulling it off of certain marketplaces around the world and then banning certain countries and then forcing the PlayStation Network sign up thing for security reasons, as though I'm not old enough to remember when Sony stored all of our username and passwords in a fucking text file on a random computer that didn't have any type of encryption in any way, shape, or form, and completely collapsed PlayStation Network for an entire year. See, I'm old enough to remember that type of shit. So I don't trust the old guy that I meet when I first arrive at the house who seems as though he's a kindly fucking caretaker, because I've seen what he's gotten up to and the bodies he's essentially buried in his fucking basement over the last 5 fucking years. But you can't tell me that the overall big brain plan, because you see, they were close. They were this close. They could almost taste it. They almost owned Bungie. And do understand, they do technically own Bungie, even though Bungie is still independent. But if Bungie was to fail to meet certain goals, certain requirements, certain financial lines, Sony could basically turn around and just take the entire fucking company, fire the entire board, bring in all of their people, fire people in the company that they don't need, bring in some more of their people, and restructure Bungie to fit their needs, pumping out Destiny content for like the next 30 fucking years. But you see, they missed their chance because Bungie is that type of animal that they're only good when their back is against the wall. They're only good when all of a sudden they have to drop all of the financial pretenses. We got to drop all the microtransactions and actually create fucking content people are going to enjoy. Otherwise, we're going to lose our fucking studio and we're going to be shut down. Bungie is only good when their back is against the wall. Sony was unaware of this. And with Bungie's back against the wall, they released a banger. This last month and a half of content we've essentially received in Destiny has been absolutely fucking stellar. The weapons have been stellar. The armor sets that have come out have been stellar. The Pantheon game mode has been absolutely fucking fantastic, and it caught Sony off guard, because you see, they thought for a second there that they were gonna own Bungie. And then Bungie turned it around, and all of a sudden, this hype that wasn't there before for the final shape was suddenly there again. So you can't tell me that somebody over at Sony wasn't like, what if we just, flip the switch on our streaming service? Which is absolutely wild to me that there are people that, honest to God, use the Sony streaming service in order to play Destiny. Like, you have to be the final holdouts of Google Stadia. There's no way that you, in all honesty, own a PlayStation where I believe the last 4 expansions up to the most recent one, and I think the most recent one just got added to it, are on PlayStation Plus. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn that there was a period of time where they were giving that shit away. So there's no way that you who own a PlayStation was like, you know what, I don't want to have to download Destiny. I want to have to stream Destiny, and then while I'm streaming it, also be connected to it online at all times and play the game that way with like a gajillion lag. There's no way in hell that there are people like that out there. But then I remember that there's a core audience of people who went out there and they purchased Google Stadia. And they thought Google Stadia was going to be the next coming of gaming Jesus. And when it collapsed, they wept. And I was like, why? And also, how? Upside for me, I didn't get shit leaked. Outside of this article that I just fucking read, nothing was leaked for me whatsoever. I don't know what kind of exotics we're getting. I don't know what kind of weapons we're getting. I don't know what kind of armor we're getting. All I know is that Prismatic is a subclass. Titans can throw fucking axes. Fucking Warlocks can finally become Roy Mustang. And Hunter's about to be on that bullshit. That is all I know. And I am keeping it that way. And I suggest everybody else who doesn't want to be spoiled, keep it that way as well. But keep an eye on Sony, because you never know. Like I said, they're the Scooby-Doo villain. And I don't think we've reached the end of the episode yet. There's going to be some more nefarious shit that's going to happen in the following weeks in some way, shape, or form. Sony has a way of they have a way of creeping up on you and catching you off guard. So, keep your eyes open, but don't keep your eyes too open where you get shit leaked for you and it completely ruins your experience next week, Tuesday. We're almost there, boys. 2 more days. Tomorrow and Monday. That's it. Then it's the downtime. Then it's an install. And then it's the server setup. And then we are good to fucking go. See you guys on the other side.